Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting mime show with your host, lovely Julia.
I think that was a battle of wills of who's going to start the show. You or me?
I thought if I don't say anything, what would happen? It's Friday the 13th. It's the day when, oh my God, everything's going to go wrong. But never mind, we will sing a song to keep...
Sixpence?
Yes, a pocket full of Rice Krispies, just to keep you going. A bit of advertising there, just in case you've ever bought Rice Krispies. I wouldn't bother. They're very nice, but don't bother because... Here's a hint. Don't start singing crooning songs just before
doing a show.
Because I don't know what it does. Why is it when you start singing, if you haven't sung for all day and you've warmed up your voice, you suddenly go all croaky?
Well, you strain your voice, don't you?
Me, I have strained my voice. Yep.
Certainly will if you carry on like that.
Yes, and I'm sure you'll help me strain it through a tea strainer. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, that's ringing it. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Well, don't ring my neck or my voice or any
box.
of that nonsense. Anyway, it's lovely to see you. Thank you very much. Not that we can actually see you. What a stupid expression that is.
You can't?
No, I can see you.
Oh.
No, I meant them. I see. All I
What,
see
you
is a
can't
camera.
see?
No, I can't. We can't see into their living rooms or any of that nonsense.
Well, let's not tell them the secret then.
No, let's tell them the same. They think we can see them. Yes, you lot, stop misbehaving. Thank you very much. It is Friday, I mentioned that. It's the 13th of May, 2022, and it's just after 8 o'clock from a terraced house in Worthing, at the edge of the English Channel at the foot of the South Downs. Whew, that's a handful.
Mouthful.
Yes.
Or a handful.
So it's been another week, and have you missed us? What have you been up to, the lovely Julia? What have you been up to?
Lots of things. Attempted to pick up some trees.
And how did the attempting to pick up the trees go? You need a lot of strength to pick up trees, depending on the size of those trees. If they are fully fledged oaks that have been around for, say, 400 years.
Then you might need a little bit of help.
Were they 400-year-old oaks?
No.
Oh.
No, they might have been... No, not even... Oh, no, a couple of them might have been 400 days old.
400 days old. What were they that you were trying to pick
I'm
up?
being instructed to turn the timer over. Thank you very much,
you
Lord Jeffrey.
You must obey the audience, otherwise they get very, clunky.
I'm missing something.
What are you missing? Microphone?
I'm
Headphone?
going to have to wait till the first video.
What is it you're missing? Something. Oh, yes, your monocle.
Yeah, my monocle.
It's very nice to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Langley says, evening all, and Vobes, just to let you know, I was 70 last Wednesday. Thanks for that, Ron Langley.
Happy birthday
70.
last Wednesday.
Do you know, I'm catching you up. When I'm 70, I'll be of the same age. So I'm hoping that there will be street parties named after me. But Ron, happy birthday. At least another 30 years to go. And then you can jack it all in. But you've got 30 years of hard labour, hard Vobes Show watching to do before you can jack it in. So
why jack it in?
Well, Jill couldn't make it. She's so busy. She's on the game. You know what it's like. Terry Banton says, Ords for courses. Ords for courses.
Courses.
Yes. And there's somebody else spoke using worms.
Colonel Cragratty said, Ron Langley is just a youth then.
Ah, yes, just a youth. Absolutely. Because poor old Colonel Cragratty is 96, is he? Oh, no, that's the Queen. He's 98. He's an aged man.
Colonel Cragratty?
Climbs up mountains as soon as you look at him. He was the sort of kid that in the playground, if a big bully boy went after him and he said, now look here, you Colonel Cragratty, because he wouldn't have been a colonel back then, he was probably just a private Cragratty. Colonel Cragratty would have gone, oh! like a little pipsqueak, but run up the side of the school building, up the drain pipe, 52 stories, and he would go, "Are you calling a pipsqueak now?" And the poor old, you had to feel sorry for the bully because he's like going, "Oh yeah, all right, clever clock, I can't do that. Yeah, you win." Of which point, Private Cragratty dropped a brick on the bloke's head, killed him outright, and served 72 years inside. But he didn't last very long because he knew how to scale the walls and was out. You know, Spider-Man has nothing on Colonel Cragratty, does he? Let's face it, Spider-Man.
He says,
Colonel Cragratty man spins a web. Colonel Cragratty man, flight, copyright strike.
He says, I'm just 7 and a bit in my head.
Yes, good for him. 7 and a bit inches. That's it's a boast. It is a boast. If you're 7 and a bit inches, one of the
Come
missus
on.
stays with you.
Back in the gutter with you, huh?
Yes, back in the gutter. This
blimey.
chair is getting lower, and I don't know why I don't keep
Going
jacking it up.
down.
Talking about jacking it in, I'm jacking it up. Look, it's so much better like this. I'm nearer the microphone.
Hello.
Hello.
You, what
Everything
you
all
doing
right?
down there?
I don't know.
How's the weather down there, anyway?
Down here, it's misty and murky.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody
Bright
keeps
and sunny up here.
farting. What have we got here? Station Master's Choice and War Commentaries and more. Says, greetings all. It seems I am older than Ron Langley by about 3 weeks. Oh. He was 70 earlier. Well, happy birthday
yes,
to
he
you.
was.
Did we say happy birthday to poor old Station Master's Choice?
did. We did. I'm sure we did, didn't we?
Marvellous. Well, I'm very pleased that we've...
Well, just in case we didn't,
Yes.
belated happy birthday. Just
Belated happy
sure we
birthday.
did.
Terry Banton says, are those parrots on Julia's blouse?
No, I believe they're the flowers, dear, flowers.
Oh, I was going to say they're not a parakeets. Be careful how you say that. Parakeet. Anyway.
I need to type in. Reminding myself of Amber Heard with the jacket and the thing up round my neck.
Who's Amber Heard? I never heard of Amber Heard.
You don't want to know.
Is she in this Waggergate? What's it called? Waggergate?
Wagatha
No.
Christie.
Oh, Wagatha Christie,
You were
yes.
on about this morning.
No.
No.
Can anyone else enlighten me
about?
about this Waggergate? What is it? Waggatha Christie. Is it Waggerlock Holmes? Oh no, that's Sherlock Holmes. And actually that should have been, who wrote Sherlock Holmes? Arthur C. Clarke? No, it wasn't Arthur C. Clarke, don't be so ridiculous. Anyway, my point was, at Wagatha Christie, I mentioned in my podcast, The Naked Englishman, that I thought that Wagatha was such a stupid name. And was it somebody who'd come from overseas, from maybe a... My point was how to repeat yourself in public. Was it somebody from maybe an African country whose family came over here and, trying to be terribly English, called their child Wagatha as opposed to Agatha?
Dear Phoebe.
What was the name? It was Jenny Agatha, wasn't it? Who did Walkabout in Australia. Maybe it was an Australian. Good day there, sport. We're going to call our children Wagatha after the great Jenny Agatha. Oh no, that would be Jagatha, wouldn't it? Wendy Agatha. Is there such a woman as Wendy Agatha somewhere in the world? Hi there, I'm Wendy Agatha. I'm 52 stone. Not that her weight's got any... Anyway,
It's not entirely impossible for that to be an actual name out there.
No, that's not entirely impossible
It's
at
not
all.
entirely impossible that she might speak like that as well, but
That's
it'd be
true.
very weird.
Yes, and if that's you watching the show and your name is
Then we're very
Wagatha,
sorry.
Yes, you have our pity. Who is Amber Heard? Says Station Master's Choice and more, and that's
She
a question.
is Johnny Depp's ex-wife. That's all you need to know.
But is she, yes, Johnny Depp's ex-wife. Mm. But is she an actor? Actress?
If you can call it that.
It. If you can call
Her
it her
performance.
She is a.
Yeah, her performance. I meant it. Act. If you can call it acting.
What has she been in? Anything exciting? Has she been? Was she in Crossroads?
No.
Was she in The Bill?
No.
She's not lived then, really, is she? She's not Meg Mortimer's love child. You don't know who Meg Mortimer is?
Nope.
No.
I do not.
Meg Richardson earlier. Those people are really old. Meg Richardson. Sandy Richardson's elder cousin. Sandy Richardson was in a wheelchair, wasn't he? Was Sandy Richardson in a wheelchair? I think he was in a wheelchair. Or was he just on... Was he a cripple? Are you allowed to say you're crippled anymore? Is that a word you're allowed to say? You're
Don't know
a
anymore.
cripple. I mean, you can't use spastic now, can you?
Well,
But people are...
I think you're still allowed to use it if you're talking engineering terms.
You can't call somebody a spasmo. We used
No,
to call
you
each other
can't.
at school when I was at primary
kid,
school.
I didn't think it was very nice. People saying
You're a
things like that.
spasmo. Spasmo, you're a little spasmo.
I think he's having one.
And the curious thing was, nobody really knew what a spasmo... Probably most people didn't even know what a spastic was supposed to be. Other than now, it's Scope. But I get my clothes from Scope, which was formerly the Spastics Society. And I feel very good about buying my clothes from previous clothes that were previously owned by Spastics. That's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say is I'm happy to give my money to buy clothes to help the Scope charity. That's what I'm trying to say. Came out very wrong, those of you who suddenly, who've just suddenly awoken and gone, oh, I've been insulted. I must improve my bust. Boing. We don't have any material in today's show, which is why I'm making up stuff as we go along.
Rachel says Engelbert Humperdinck was a name, so wholly possible Wagatha could be a name too. Except Engelbert Humperdinck was a made-up name, wasn't it? A stage name, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think it was.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
What was his real name? Maybe somebody knows. Say anything.
Someone's going to know.
As long as it's said
Someone
kindly.
Out there, one of our
Yes. You are a lovely little spastic. You really are. Sorry, I was just saying it very kindly. Brian Jeffries
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
says, talking about disability, I went into a disabled toilet today, but it wasn't disabled at all. It worked absolutely perfectly. And so it should. If they put a sign saying this toilet is a disabled toilet, tell them they're wrong. If it's working, you should have kicked the bowl over or smashed up the cistern and then said, now it's disabled. It lives up to its name. It does bug me. Somebody rang into a telephone programme that I was listening to once, and they were talking about how you shouldn't go into disabled toilets. And they said, but the toilet isn't exclusively for disabled people at all. That's a fallacy. People think that, especially the disabled people, think that's their own toilet. No, it's a toilet. It's a public toilet for anyone to use. It includes people who might be disabled. It isn't specifically for a disabled toilet. Men, women, trans people, Martians from Alpha Centauri, who ought to have come from Mars, of course. Otherwise, they're not really Martians, but you know how the universe has become globalised. You've got people coming from all sorts of sub-Saharan...
Yes. My eyes are globe.
Sub-Saharan Neptune now are taking root on Mercury. The whole universe has gone bizarre.
Sorry. Right, so...
Yes.
Apparently, Engelbert Humperdinck was a composer, and Engelbert isn't dead yet.
We didn't say he was. I don't think we said he was.
I think it can be implied if we're saying was.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I don't know.
Was. Yes,
anyway,
that's true. Yes, no, past tense of somebody.
The singer was another person. Arnold George Dorsey was the singer who used Engelbert Humperdinck as his stage name.
Oh, and so the real Engelbert
Humperdinck was a classical composer, confirms Linda Kane. There we go.
Right. But the real Engelbert Humperdinck didn't mind that fake Engelbert Humperdinck was using his name.
I think the composer was probably already deceased.
Oh, so he was.
I think,
we can talk about him in the past tense then, because he was a was.
Azzy Twos says Richard Voberdink.
And so one Engelbert Humperdinck was a was, and the other Engelbert Humperdinck still is an is. An is was, or was is, or wizzy was. Yes, it's very good. As long as you have a radar key, you can use a disabled toilet that are locked. I do have a radar key. Yeah, no, it's true. I have it downstairs on my desk. I might even go downstairs to prove it. Not at this moment. We'll play a video first.
There's some
Somebody sent it to me, by the way, when they knew I was getting into van life, because they said, if ever you're sure for low, have one of these keys and do a poo. But I've actually got one on my van.
I think there's some confusion about your comments about the disability toilets.
Oh, here we go. Go on then. Give us what the wise words of the audience.
Well, Sean Guinea says it is only for disabled, and Marion is upset at the disability comments tonight. But
who's Marion?
What he's trying to say is that yes, it's designed for people who are disabled to use it, but it isn't just for them.
No, the fact of the matter is I understand it, so don't blame me for this.
We understand
as we now understand it, is that these toilets have been, anybody can use them, but they have been fashioned in a way they make it easier also for disabled. Hence, they've wrongly got the title saying that they're disabled, because the toilets aren't disabled, are they? The toilets are able.
They are very much working toilets. Sean James Cameron says, what is a radar key?
A radar key is something that you get when you've got special eyes that can see through walls, and you can get the BBC in Gibraltar.
Colonel
I will get the radar key down. If it's still on my desk, it may not be, of course. Somebody.
Linda Kane says the original Engelbert Humperdinck died in 1921.
Oh.
And Colonel Cragratty says some disabled toilets show the male and female signs as well. So toilets for everyone.
They're just universal toilets. They're more universal toilets than an ordinary toilet because they're available so that people who have some disability find them easier to use than they would if they went into standard toilets that we have up and down the country. That is as I now I
don't know how do you get or apply for a radar key though?
Well, you see if I think you get it on the grapevine, don't you? If you've got on the right radar. I don't know. During the war, they had radar towers, didn't they? And they knew when the Nazis were flying in. Maybe they dropped a few keys. They might not have done. Maybe they think they've got. Hang on, if I remember rightly, there's A, B, C, D, F sharp, G major. They're the keys that you need, and radar keys.
Paul Carl Griffin says accessible toilet is a much better description. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, and it's more accessible.
Yeah, I mean, if a disabled person needs it, then of course they get priority, and that stands to reason, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't.
It's kind of like the disability seat in. There's a seat in the disability section of a bus. You know, anyone can sit there, but if a disabled person comes in and needs it, you vacate.
I think it's just polite, isn't it? I think it's polite that if you're more able-bodied than somebody else, you're going to, in theory, in a nice world where people were polite, you would make sure that those people who were less abled were able to take advantage of, say, the disabled toilets or the toilets on the thing. But if all toilets are in use and there's nobody else using the disabled toilet, there is, as far as I understand, there's no rule saying you can't nip in, whip out your little Percy chap, have a little whittle.
That was a detail not necessary.
And pull the old chain and then whiz out again. Well, you've whizzed in there actually, but you know what I mean. And then if somebody's outside waiting, it's just
apparently
it's a loo for all.
Apparently, Sean Gilly has just checked, and you can buy one for £3 on Amazon.
What's that? A radar key or a disabled toilet?
Yeah. No, radar key. Tim T says radar key are for sale on various platforms.
So yes, I mean they're always useful to have. Rich is disabled because he's only got one eye, so I'm all right. Exactly, that's very true. I once did a BBC presenters course on the basis that I was disabled. Somebody put me up for this course on the BBC. It was a disabled presenters course for a week. And they said, you could go on this, Richard. I said, oh, don't be ridiculous. I've only lost one eye. I'm hardly disabled. They said, well, ask them. So I was sort of cajoled into doing this. So I said, all right. It was a free course worth £1,000. So I said, look, I've lost one eye. I don't really consider myself disabled. And they said, well, you can apply for the course then, mate. All you have to do is audition. So I auditioned, sent in a tape with me doing something about history, and then I did a whole week on how to be a presenter. It was actually well worth doing. Although the course itself was crap, it was well worth saying, I'm BBC trained, don't you know? But actually, I was too busy telling them how to do the bloody course, because they hadn't a clue, of course.
Well, it was lucky they had you there then.
It was lucky they had me there.
Lucky they had you there. Why are you still down there?
I don't know. I just try and get myself back into some form of what's the name? But sorry, Marion. Is that Maz Marion or
yes,
different
that's
Marion?
Our lovely Maz.
Yes, please don't get upset by the contents of the show. The show is just there for entertainment purposes and it's not serious, so please don't get upset. But people do occasionally get upset by me, and all I'm doing is expressing humorous views, which I know can be upsetting, but I appreciate that it's not meant maliciously. No. None of it's meant with malice. Malice of forethought. I haven't sit here sweltering in a hot cake of juice thinking, how can I really upset? You know, sometimes you just say things, just the heat of the moment.
You just have to look at him. Oh, I'm offended.
People, yes, exactly. People can be offended by the colour of my shirt or the smell of my vomit. There's all sorts of ways to be... Ow, that was my kneecap. Will you stop bashing me on the knee, little chap?
Marion says it's a right pain to disabled users, as is those businesses that fill them with boxes and stacks of chairs, and then wheelchair users can't get in them. That is really irritating.
Do you know, I once used a disabled toilet to take my clothes off and put different clothes on.
And when a Superman changing room.
Well, I turned up at this bar, this pub, which was a
Vobes?
bar pub. They wanted me to entertain. Back in the days when I used to juggle and unicycle and eat fire and walk on stilts and all of that. And they wanted me in this bar to walk on stilts and entertain people. So I turned up and I said, great, yep, lovely. Where can I change? They said, oh, we don't really have anywhere. Can you change in the disabled toilet? So I said, yes, I can change in the disabled toilet, but it's not really what I like to change in the toilet. But fair enough. Maybe the room the toilet's in would be better. It's more room and less wet. But anyway, so I changed in the disabled cubicle thing. And I said, where can I leave my clothes? And they said, and bags and stuff. They said, oh, leave it in there, be perfectly safe. Nobody ever goes in there. Oh, okay. So a bit naive, a bit stupid. I did that because I was in the same building as the toilet. Did my entertainment, got up and made everybody laugh and all the rest of it. Came back. My car had been stolen. The key had been lifted from my trouser pocket from the disabled toilet. True story.
Nice.
A week later, I found my car had been picked up by kids and wrecked. Good job it wasn't my van, I can tell you.
Yeah.
So, you know, disabled toilets do have other vicarious use. Don't leave anything in a disabled toilet as well, other than something that you want to leave in a disabled toilet, if you get my meaning. And even then, you should flush it away.
Do you know what? Oh, go on.
That was it.
Good.
Finished.
You're done with that?
Yeah, done it.
Yeah, flush it.
It's gone.
I'd like to see it more often in these accessible toilets. Not only the baby change thing, but also one for disabled people who actually need physical help to change themselves.
What would you like to see?
A changing unit for...
Oh, a changing unit.
Yeah, so that when you've got, like, for example, adults who need assisted changing, things like that, that they don't have to lie on the floor, put them on the floor, the disgusting floor, even a disability toilet that gets, accessibility toilet, that gets relatively well taken care of, is still going to be manky on the floor with so many people using it. Do you see what I mean?
I do. I see exactly what you mean, because you use fantastic words to describe
Brilliant.
what you meant.
Thank you.
We will now play a video, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a quiz which has been sent in by Mark Townsend.
Ooh, quiz, because we didn't... I say we didn't get to write any this day.
We have no material other than making things up. A person in there to help, says Sean Gimley.
Oh, no,
yes.
no.
Yes, that would be...
Oh, yeah, that would be handy, wouldn't it?
Back in the old days,
Press a
you used to
button.
have attendants, didn't you? You'd come in and they would be smartly attired and go, good evening, sir, how are you? I said, well, I wonder if you can hold Todger whilst I... Oh, of course, sir, one moment, put on special gloves and all this. And they would assist you in any manner you fancied. While I was on the train toilet, the door opened by itself, says Sean James Cameron. Yeah, that's not ideal. Those toilets with the timers that go round, they're not so much. Shall we get away from toilet humour?
Yes.
So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 films for you, been sent in by our avid viewers. And we're going to start tonight with Pete Telling and his Model Welder. It's only because it's on the top of my playlist on the computer, but in the middle of my scripted playlist. So let's find out what Colonel Cragrat is doing with his toy welder.
There's the man welding. Yeah. There he is. He's standing on a scaffold frame so that he can reach the side of the cab so that he can do his welding quite safely. Here are 2 pictures showing how the welder is completely oblivious to the rail car just behind him and is not thinking of how much damage he might do to it.
Ooh. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Whilst the credits run, we like to put in some odd sound effects. Thank you very much to Colonel Craig Ratty there, down at the... He is the chief engineer, or whatever he called himself, something. The designer, or the welder, or the man with the big... Something you don't argue with, basically, is what he said. So that's very nice. Sean James Cameron has sent in some pictures now. We were talking about the Wagatha Christie at the beginning. I don't know how we got to toilets from Wagatha Christie. I don't know. But he was explaining this to me.
It was all crap, I suppose.
What Wagatha Christie was.
Yeah, right.
Whilst he was out and about. And he said, I've just heard The Naked Englishman. I understand that you don't know what Wagatha Christie is. And he told me it was about these footballers' wives. Apparently a wag is not something...
Wife and girlfriend.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not something a dog does with its tail. But it's
Well, it is, but it's also a wife and girlfriend.
But apparently footballers are entitled to have not only a wife, but also a girlfriend, which causes them some trouble, apparently. So one of them, who is a minor figure in the world's play acting, did some detective work about another one who is equally another minor figure, but takes up too much inches of text in newspaper columns. And they had a bit of a spat, and for some reason, some people on this planet cared. Can't think why, because these are two insignificant people of talentless whatever. So you've got this spat, and so hence they were called Wagatha Christie, after the great detective fiction writer Agatha Christie. Well, as Sean James Cameron was explaining exactly this to me, he said, "You'll never guess what happened, Richard. Look, the Agatha Christie's Orient Express went choo-chooing by. And here are the pictures to prove it. Pullman carriages, that's the Phoenix one there. And you can nip in there, but apparently the toilet doors open on you by mistake."
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Look at that. That's very nice.
It looks lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's. I think we'll go on that and do a live Vobes show the next time. Wouldn't that be good?
It would be fun.
I'll ring him up. I'll ask Sean to fix it. I'm sure he can fix it. So thank you very much, Sean, for that. That looked absolutely fantabulous. We'll have a go on that. Meanwhile, Mark Townsend's got more cryptic clues. Richard, he says, hopefully others will come forward with clues, games, puzzles, etc. But if not, and it's not is the case actually, he says, here are a few more cryptic clues that you can squirrel away for a rainy day.
Oh, is that
Yes,
rain?
storm clouds.
I think it is.
So here we are. God knows what this is. You've got to try and work out what this item is. These are things you can eat from this following description. That ruddy Teletubby on Scotland's longest river with a digit on the end. That ruddy Teletubby on Scotland's longest river with a digit on the end. Can you, by any strange quirk of, work out what that is? That would be fantastic if you can. Excuse me.
You're excused.
Audrey Forbes says, is it Tayberry? Is it Iron Brew? Says Dave Ifad. No, it's much more common and garden than that. You'll be knocking yourself sideways when you find out this one. Any idea? That ruddy Teletubby, think of a Teletubby on Scotland's longest river with a digit on the end. Tobermory? I don't think Tobermory was a Teletubby. He was not a clanger, but a Wimbledon Wombledon, common as he. The Womble, he was. Brian Jeffries says, I once got a train set for my birthday. I was chuffed with it. Yeah.
It's full of these ones.
I love it. Love it. Keep them coming.
He said a lady rolled her eyes at him in the waiting room the other day, and he just rolled them back.
Ah, bless. You wouldn't want to, take somebody else's eyes. Posh, says Rachel.
What's a Teletubby, says Paul Carr Griffin.
Yeah, well, this is the trouble. So, can you remember any names of the Teletubbies?
Yeah.
What are they?
Lala, Dipsy, Poe.
Is there any more?
Lala, Dipsy, Poe. I think there's one more.
Isn't one called Ka-ching? Station Master's Choice has come up with the correct answer. Well done, Station Master's Choice. It's potato. Potato.
Potato.
Now, I don't know what Scotland's longest river is, so I'm going to plead ignorance on that. The last digit on the end is O, presumably.
No, I think it's the Tay, isn't it?
Is it
Scotland's
the Tay?
like-
Yes.
And then toe is the digit on the end.
Oh, with the toe being... Yes, there we are. Tinky,
Tinky Winky.
Thank you very much, Joanna Jones, who's very familiar with the Tinky Winky of Poe. Ricky Winky, says Mark Burgess, apropos of. We'll give you one more, then we go to another video. This one, it might be... It's not an anagram, is it? No. The clue is vehicle decay. What vegetable is that? Vehicle. So they're all vegetables. I've just realised this. Vehicle decay. Oh yes, very good. I've seen it. It took me a while to think of that, but it's very good. Potato. There we go. Mark Townsend. Thank you very much. Potato. That's there. Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it. Linda Kane, straight in.
Car rot.
Car rot is a vehicle decay. Brilliant. Carrot.
That's how I learnt to spell carrot.
Is it? Car rot. Carbuncle, says David Vad. Yes, very close. Right, let's go to another
video.
Yes, please. On our next choice, we're going to go to Paul Carr Griffin, who is going to take us... Thank you very much. This is the first time we've seen a live image of Paul Carr Griffin. And he's going to take us... Not only is he expounding on how simple it is to make videos and how crap we are at it, he's actually going to take us around his huge estate. Let's have a look. I'm pressing the button, nothing happens. Okay, so let me just go back in there and try it again.
Hello Richard, hello Julia, and to all you watchers of the wonderful Vobes Show. Welcome to the heart of Cornwall. As you can see, I live in the middle of virtually nowhere. Fields are all around me, except on one side where my neighbours live. Now here's my greenhouse with my black Homburg grapes in. When the weather's cooler, I also use it as my sunroom. I do have another little sunroom just here, which gives me a lovely view. That's my neighbour's little hut next door, and in my garden, as you can see, it's not huge, but it's a nice little size. Behind me there are summer fruiting raspberries, rhubarb, potatoes, fruit trees. There's a pear, plum, apple, and next over the fence rather, there's a nice little orchard. As we come back into the garden, the sun's playing tricks with me now. This is the very, very first time I've actually tried, maybe failed, to make a video. Certainly not going to be in the standard of Richard, because he's had many years of practice. I've had about 2 hours practice this morning, and I've realised how terribly hard it is. If we look behind me, past my tatty old shed, we've got my little smoker there, and then in the background, the rambling rector. With a few other plants, there's hebe and heathers and aquilesias. That's a red currant. I've also got gooseberries and black currants, and I'm going to trip over the cat if I'm not very careful. You can probably see I've got a nice little pool for when the weather's hot. Starting to warm up now, but could be a lot better. So a little picnic area, and I just have tripped over the cat, which isn't going to be easy for me to show you. So we're coming up to 2.5 minutes now, which is probably about the limit which Richard asks for from his viewers. So I'll say chin chin. Bye for now.
Chin chin, old chap. Chin chin.
Chin chin indeed.
And I don't know why you were mentioning anything about his chins. He looks absolutely remarkable. And I love that wonderful, vast swimming pool. It's hugely deep. It's deceptive. It looks like one of those cheap plastic things. But actually, it's 16 feet down to the deep end. and 400 feet in the shallow end, complete with sharks and those, what are those fish that go around and eat you as soon as look at you?
Piranhas?
Yes, bananas. It's full of banana fish.
Piranha.
No, lovely. Thank you so much, Paul, Carl Griffin. It's lovely to see your cabbage patch. And as for the rambling vicar, I didn't see him running around. I was hoping to see the rambling vicar. I thought he was going to come up and do a sermon for us, but very nice. Thank you very much. Brian Jeffrey says, well, that video wasn't fruitless. No, absolutely. And it was nice to see your son's room, your little son's room, or sunroom. Sunroom, I beg your
with
pardon.
a lounger in the greenhouse.
Yes, lovely.
It's a good touch, that one.
And he says, sorry, Richard, a settee on a stick, a selfie on a stick.
Selfie.
No, that's that is typical of the type of videos that we're looking for, in actual fact, where you are talking to us simply about something that's going on in your world.
Like a vobing reporter.
Exactly. Richard and Julia, how are your potatoes getting on? Says Val Pragnell.
Doing very well, and I keep forgetting to say on air. Thank you ever so much to
Steve Mitchell.
Steve and Maz
And
for
Maz.
the
Mitchell.
Yeah,
The Mitchell brothers
for the potatoes. And
from
I think
EastEnders
they're growing very nicely.
with the King Edwards. Yes, no, very nice. Apparently King Edwards, people aren't buying King Edwards
Really?
anymore. No, apparently
By
it's
the
out
way-
of season.
Who
Who? Doctor?
buys and enjoys iceberg lettuce? Just
Oh, yes.
who?
We've
Who buys this iceberg lettuce and making
Well, nobody
people
does.
want to grow it?
Nobody seems to, because every time you go into the shop near me, and I want to buy a
And
nice...
the shop near me.
And the shop near you, and you want to buy a nice round lettuce, everyone's got those, nicked them. There's none.
They're
And all
gone.
that's left is these
Grown eggs and warped.
wretched iceberg lettuces, which are full of water and
No good for anybody. No nutrients in them whatsoever.
yes, horrible things. Who enjoys those? They're the sort of things I would flush down.
Audrey Forbes Hamilton buys one every week, apparently.
What to do? Give to a hamster or something?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like a little bit chopped and diced into the salad, but I like a good, proper leafy round lettuce.
Yes,
you
one
know?
that's got something in it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a radar key. And for those that want to see it in black and white, I'll put it onto our special close-up camera. There it is, in big close-up for you.
Big close-up.
Glad you saw that. And if you didn't see it in close-up, try it now.
Oh yeah, that's quite close up.
Does that say radar on it? One of the sides it says radar.
Don't know. You keep moving it further and further
Well,
off
I
the
am
camera.
trying to look.
That way. There you go.
Does that say radar?
Yes, it does. It says RADAR.
So there we are, behind the scenes in a crazy world. So
here we go. Here's the thing, the dish on iceberg lettuce.
Right.
So Audrey Forbes Hamilton buys one every week. Lynn B also buys iceberg lettuce.
why?
Why? Hang on. Sean Guinea says they're crunchy, and well, Sean James Cameron says I love a Cos lettuce just because. Ha 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 ha. That was a rubbish laugh. Lynn B says nice and crunchy. Yeah, that's a good reason. And Ramiboo too says she uses iceberg lettuce for things like tacos. That's a good idea because it's nice to have the crunch in there. Yeah, no, okay. Granted, I can see it has some uses. Chris Navard says iceberg lettuce is so very 1980s, darlings. You're not wrong. Cos lettuce, poor little gem, are crunchy. Iceberg are the ones they put in doner kebabs and burgers. Yeah,
That's
Says
why.
Linda
That's
Kane.
kind of the reason I don't buy them. Because they just seem to be the cheap and cheerful, nasty sort of. I'm getting a bit snooty in my old age. I think I like the humble round lettuce. You open it up, there's the slug. You open it a bit further, there's a little hamster of snails, hamlet of snails, even. That's real insects want to go into that. The iceberg lettuce, what is it? Apart from the crunch, I don't think it's got anything else in its favour. Isn't it a
Lord-
man-made object made in a synthetic
Lord Jeffrey
factory?
Harrison says my next door neighbour's chickens won't even eat iceberg lettuce. Well, my tortoise would eat it if I fed it to him, but you're told as a tortoise owner not to feed it to them because it doesn't give them enough.
In 1912, very interesting fact, you may not know this. In 1912, a famous ship was launched by smashing its hull with an iceberg lettuce. Sometime later, outside Southampton, it hit a real iceberg. That was fate in the making. Yeah, you should have told the orchestra because they played. Lynn says, I don't like limpy lettuce. We don't have limpy ones, but a nice round lettuce with those beautiful, lovely, tasty leaves.
Yeah, if they're fresh, they shouldn't be limpy.
Yes, they shouldn't be limpy. Let's see if you can guess this one then. This is another vegetable. Can you guess what it is? And it's not a round lettuce. Burnt and black-ended. Blackened. Yeah, black-end. Is that black-ended? Blackened.
Blackened.
Yes, blackened, not black-ended at all. Blackened. Sorry, these glasses.
I'm like, what is
Can I
that
change
word?
your glasses?
Go on then, it's probably going to be better.
Burnt and black-ended.
Oh my God.
Blackened from the land of holy cheese.
Oops, can we swap back, please? I
Yes,
can't see.
I can't see a bloody thing with those. You need good eyesight to see through these.
Whew.
You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why are you wearing glasses anyway?
I don't know.
That was never really explained, but good old Dave and Lily, we blame them.
Yes.
Anybody got this? I like a remaining lettuce.
Romaine lettuce.
Oh, romaine.
Yes.
What is that?
It's
Monty
I think it's
Python's?
a long one. I can't remember. I think it's one of the longer.
Right. Has anyone,
Just said
in
that
1912, it was a Titanic disaster. It was a Titanic disaster. Exactly. That's what with the joke with the iceberg lettuce. Burnt and blackened from the land of holy cheese. Anybody guess that? It's very easy when you've got the answer written in front of you, as we have. Here, do you want to see the answers? Can you read them? Probably not. Pointy lettuce, says Paul Carl Griffin. Iceberg lettuce is like eating water, says Rachel. Yeah, I agree. It is. It's just like sort of. There's no flavour.
No, I do concede there are times and places that I do enjoy iceberg lettuce.
What
and if
places?
It's there,
What places?
barbecues.
That's not a place. Buckingham Palace. Now that's a place.
Oh, what's that?
What? Down there, third on the left.
Oh, yo, goo. Stop it.
Oh dear. Ramy Boo says a lot of iceberg lettuce you buy in the store is grown in greenhouses for market. If you grow them yourselves, they do have a sweeter flavour for them.
Ah.
You could say that about anything.
It's funny though. I mean, there's all these people, these lovely, wonderful people who obviously buy and eat iceberg
Rubbish.
lettuce. So why is there so many of them left in the shop?
Yes, why have they overproduced them? Maybe all they do is it's just water turned in a churn.
I think we've got a few correct answers out there.
Station Master's choice seems to be pipped in the post. Swiss chard, he says, and the answer is
Swiss chard.
Swiss chard. Not Richard, but Swiss chard.
Swiss chard.
Fish is a place. That's true. Fish is a place. Have you been to Fish? It's a lovely place. Dutch something, says Anna Jones. The answer's already on the screen, Anna. And I Sat on a Lettuce the Other Day is a new song coming out. That's the B-side of the Ferret song.
Is it something else interesting that Sean James Cameron has said, and that is lettuce contains something called lactocarium, which can make you feel sleepy. It has a similar structure to opium and has some sedative properties. And Rachel says lettuce is an ingredient in herbal sleeping tablets. There's something interesting for you.
Yes, well, I always have.
I found it interesting.
Sleep all night long. I bathe myself in the juice of a lettuce and I lie on a bed of a lettuce, and within 16 minutes I've had rabbits nibbling all around me. Right, we're going to...
Going to the video box.
Yes, that's it. Finish my sentence for me.
What? Sean Gilly says, what's Swiss chard?
What's Swiss chard? What do you mean, what
is a Swiss
Oh, what's Swiss chard? It's burnt and blackened and from the land of holy cheese. That's what... I've no idea what Swiss chard is.
Someone in the comments can
It's a
answer that
vegetable,
one,
isn't
so
it?
we know.
Chard. And this one is probably made of chocolate. Nice. White chocolate being its speciality. Marco Burgessow is going to tell us and keep us up to date with his weekend plans. So I want to know what his weekend is doing. I feel sorry for his end, that's so weak. But let's find out. Mark Burgess, take it.
Hello, it's Mark. Just thought I'd have a quick chat. The decorating work in the room behind is pretty much done now. The furniture's back in. The new colour on the door frame. Oops, picture up there. New unit, furniture unit back in. All hangings. Okay, another unit there. Dining table, new shelf at the back there on the wall. Another unit there. And unit there. And some fairy lights. So yeah, that's pretty much all done now. This weekend I'm going to be out a bit. I was just going to show you where.
And not just any engine shed, this is the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch Railway. And all the locomotives you can see there, and these ones here, will all be in use on May the 14th and 15th for the biggest gala this railway's had since 2017. It's going to be awesome. Now, these engines are 1/3 full size, and if you haven't been on the Romney, this is what they look like when they're going along.
Yep, so that's where I'm going. There's no copyright strike with that music. Anyway, I'll let you know probably next week what it was like. I might take some video and pictures. I'll have to see. Hopefully the weather will stay kind and I'll get some decent footage or pictures. Anyway, enjoy your weekend, and I'll try and enjoy mine, and see you next time.
Thank you very much, Mark Burgess there. It's full of vigour and enthusiasm for his weekend after watching somebody else's YouTube channel, which we hope suddenly doesn't get a copyright strike because they say, you've used your material on your show. But never mind. Lovely to see that your furniture is now back in position up against your, what did he say was, not engineers, copper blush, I think it was, wasn't it? What makes a copper blush? Something else. Apparently, do you want to know what Swiss chard looks like? Here we go, for your information. Thanks to Chefs Mandela, the Gourmet Import Universe. Apparently, there we are, that's their website. We've just nicked that picture from.
They look rather fantastic, don't they?
They do look very fantastic.
That makes them look massive.
They are massive, aren't
Are
they?
they?
Yes, I mean, a person is dwarfed by those, as from what I understand. And Paul Carr Griffin said that somebody wanted to see his cat, and here is his cat. I don't know who asked for it, but, you know.
Somebody did.
There it is. Legs akimbo.
Yep. Well, he's certainly a neutered male.
Yes. Was that a male? I thought that was a female.
Nope. That's a neutered male.
There's a hole in the position where I was expecting to... Anyway.
I'm not going to describe what that is you're just looking at, but there you go.
No, thank you very much. That's for those people who are into cat porn, that's your little piece of happiness engaged. Right, we have a couple more videos. It's 10:02, bloody hell.
Wait, what?
Where did that time go from?
Huh?
It's all you lot, people.
That's not 10 minutes, surely.
No, it's 10,000 grains. I'm going to buy some, says Lynn B. Richard could be 21st century Walter Mitty. Yeah, thank you very much. That's
Paul Carr Griffin says it is a female cat.
Is a female cat. Yeah, no, that was his tail you thought was neutered. That wasn't his pee.
Intersex.
It's the cat flap. The lack of a meaningful content says it's the cat flap. Yes, the rear end, that's the cat flap. Oh my goodness. We probably will now, you know, cats around the world.
Black strike against this video.
Yes, there'll be the black cat soiree coming at us at any minute. Da-dum, Private joke there for those that know it.
It.
Right, we've got 2 more videos to sneak through the barrier. Terry Banton and Steve Mitchell. Terry's been late, not late last, I mean, for a while, so we'll put him up next.
Yes.
Good old Terry. Terry is in Guildford. What's he doing in Guildford? We'll find out. Oh, every time. Why is it I play one video, then the thing stops working and you have to go round the whole system again? Hang on, round the houses. Pull the lever, Julia. Thanks. Right, what were we looking for?
Terry Banton.
Terry, yes. Sorry, Terry. Here we go.
Terry!
Pull the lever again, would you?
Hello folks, today I'm in Castle Grounds, Guildford, Surrey. And I was going to take you for a quick tour around as it's a nice, settled, unrainy day. So the castle grounds were opened as public gardens in 1888 to mark Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee the year before. Guildford Castle was probably founded by William the Conqueror soon after 1066. The surviving walls are 12th and 13th century. As I climb the ramparts, you can see the motte towering above me and the gardens below, which are generally quite well kept. Excuse any heavy breathing because I'm going up quite a gradient at the moment. As we look down from the top of one of the ramparts down into Guildford, you can see the various roof lines, and in the distance sticking up is the Guildford Cathedral. As you can see, the Ukrainian flag is flying today rather than the Union Jack. As I descend the steps, I'm going to have to hang on, otherwise I'll go head over heels. As you can see, we're looking down into the Bailey, whereas I'm standing close to the summit of the Motte and Bailey. Bill Bailey is one of my favourite comedians, but I know he's not everybody's cup of tea. So there we are, folks, the 3-minute tour.
Lovely, lovely to have that 3-minute tour of Guildford Castle, and what a lovely keep that was. I hope they keep it on the top of the hill where it is. Did you enjoy that?
Yes.
Now, I know I'm going to get slated for this. But I want to say it. I was on Worthing Pier today and it was absolutely lovely. Go along Worthing Pier, it's beautiful. So why am I going to get slated for saying that? Because all along Worthing Pier there was not one Ukrainian flag in sight. There was an English flag, a Scottish flag, a Welsh flag, and I think the Irish Union flag, whatever it is. And it was all about Great Britain. And it just made me proud to walk along that. Go back to Steen Gardens, which is in Worthing, a big garden. Yeah, there's the Ukrainian flag. I've got no problem with people flying the Ukrainian flag and supporting it. It's all up to them entirely. But it was just nice to go to somewhere that was just about us. When I say us, I mean for those of you in Great Britain, about us being who we are and just saying, yep, this is lovely. And made me feel very patriotic for my country. But I know some people will think, oh my God, he's now he must be racist, or he must be dwarfist, or midgetist, or he must be istist, whatever, because I've just expressed what I expressed. But I'm sorry, I like that. And Worthing Pier is a lovely pier to go for a stroll on, because there's no kiss me quick hats and all the other tat that you get on some of these stuff. It was lovely. And a lack of meaningful content says what? No virtual signalling? No, that was the joy. There was no virtual signalling on it at all. Like, flying the flag is really helping to stop Putin from doing what he does. But there we are. That's another story. So we've got one more video to go through. We've done Mark Burgess. We have done Pete Tellings, Colonel Craig Ratty. We've done Terry Banton and Paul Carr Griffin. It's been fantastic to see them. But we still have one to go.
We do.
Now, I'm going to see if this works by just pushing the button, and you're going to pull the lever and see if Steve is going to tell us about, I can't pronounce this, Echium? Is it Echium and lilac trees?
All right.
Echium. Steve, help us out of the misery.
I've
Pull the
no
lever.
idea. Pull the lever.
Good evening everyone. I thought I'd just do a quick video to show you my lovely lilacs. Now there we are. See one there. Look at that. Let's go out a little bit. There we go. You can see the other one in the background there. Go that way, that's it. I'm just going to turn the camera around to show you. They're my Echiums. I've got more over here. They do these 3 colours, pink, white and blue. I've only got the white one there, but they grow ever so quick. And look at the flowers in there. Excuse the noise with the cars going past. Right, take care guys, see you again soon, bye.
Lovely.
How lovely is that?
That was lovely.
That's beautiful. Steve, you are a marvel with your garden. There's so many beautiful colours. And I went round there the other day to pick him up to do our where did we go? Slindon,
yeah.
Slimfold even. Donald Slindon is a person, or I think he's no longer with us, is he? But picked him up and he showed me, and of course we went round not so long ago, but this now, of course, colours are bursting and everything's looking absolutely lovely. So thank you for sharing all of that.
I've seen an Echium recently when I visited Lynn B yesterday morning.
By the way, Lynn B, thank you very much for your very kind donation there on the thank you, the super chat. Very kind of you. Mm-hmm. So you've seen one at Lynn's house?
I've seen one at Lynn's house, yes. It's quite tall. I think that one, how old did you say? Almost 2 years I think it's been growing.
2 years to get to flowers.
Took
there we
2
are.
years, yeah.
I mean, I've
Fantastic.
got a lovely bunch of coconuts, but that wasn't what I was going to say.
neither here nor
I've
there.
got some hollyhocks, and they take 2 years before they flower. The first year they don't do very much other than produce very big leaves, and you think, hang on a minute, is this rhubarb? And then suddenly the next year, boom, lots of flowers. Then they die back into these wooden sticks that seem to stay there for ages, and then the next bunch come up, and I'm waiting for the flowers of my next bit of hollyhocks.
Sean James Cameron's asking if there is any sign of your rhubarb.
That rhubarb died completely and it's never come back. I'm sadly, because I left it the first year because he said wait till another year, and then waited for that, and it just died.
Just didn't come back.
So I noticed that the big supermarket near me is selling them 2 lengths for £2. That seemed very expensive. Considering that when I was at Ian McCagan's, lovely Ian McCagan, he said just rip out as much as you like because it'll grow back, and I took a stack of it back and built a wooden house out of it. It was very
or a rhubarb house.
A lack of meaningful content says those glasses really suit you, Julia.
Thank you.
They are hot, if you know what I mean. And ENG Sorry about it. ENG, is that, what was that ENG? Used to be electronic news gathering in the day. Had a lovely few days around southwest of Scotland doing nothing. Planned to do it soon. Good. What is that ING for England, or is that ENG for electronic news? Yeah, electronic news gathering. Back in the television days, ENG that's what it stood for.
Rachel says, I got a rhubarb patch that's 15 years old. Apparently, they don't like being moved.
Well, this one was actually sent through the post, so yeah, clearly didn't like being moved. And Alison O'Brien says, thumbs up, love Britain. We come to the end of a show, and we just.
And I've got a song stuck in my head.
What's that?
Well, do you know what? If we'd watched Steve Mitchell's one first, it would have been in my head the whole song long. It's called Lilac Wine.
Oh, you can't sing it because we'll get copyright strike.
No, exactly.
Lilac wine.
But if you're
it's all
interested,
very fine. That's a version that it isn't.
Miley Cyrus does a very lovely cover of it. If you want to go and look it up after the show.
Oh right. And lots of our rhubarb immediately bolted this year. Never have seen it do this before, says Ramiboo. That's Lisa, who says, I just want to be free. I just want to keep sending up flowers and seeds and stocks. I want it. So I don't know what you mean by bolted. You mean it just grew and grew and grew? Oh, ENG for electronic. Oh, there we are. Very good. Not ENG as in electronic news gathering, as I was saying, showing my age there. I don't suppose they say that anymore. Lovely Ian McCagan says, love the glasses, Julia, very sexy.
Thank you very much.
The weird thing is no one's ever said that to me and said, oh, Richard, your glasses are very sexy. They suit you, they're very nice and all that. No one's ever said that.
Pretty sure I complimented you quite well on your glasses.
You helped me choose the glasses.
Exactly.
You said, if you don't wear those glasses, you silly bald idiot, you're not going to look half as good as you could do.
They do look good.
Really, there was a cage dance when I went, says Sean Gimley. A cage dance to what?
I don't know.
I don't know, but just pretend we know. Oh, yes, of course, those cages, they do dance unless you tie them down. That is the trouble with them. Bolted is a quick change in temperature or lack of water, says Sean James. And Richard, your glasses are very sexy, says Rachel. Well, give me a number, baby. And Ian McCagan says, very sexy glasses, Mr. Vote. Yes, I've already got your number, Ian. We'll stop right there, I think.
Lord Jeffrey Harrison says, OK, Richard, them glasses are really sexy.
Yes, all right.
Paul Carl Griffin says, to sat bold is apparently sexist. To say bold is apparently sexist.
Is it? Why would it be sexist to say bald? Well, how can that be sexist?
Because
women
can be bold too, so how is it sexist?
Yes, I don't understand how it can be sexist. Because you're not talking about sex, and it's
not-ist.
It's not hairist or lack of hairist. My wrist is not hairy. Well, it is a little bit hairy. Right,
it's the first time I've seen the grains disappear out there.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
Yeah, we got to go now. Ta-ta. Sorry about that.
Tatty-bye.
It'd be great just to shut it
out
and go.
What are you saying about these sexy glasses?
I didn't say nothing about them. I think they're miserable, ugly glasses, personally. But I too sexy for my glasses, like the song, says Ian McCagan, who doesn't actually need glasses.
Too sexy.
Although
by far.
In our videos, he was wearing dark glasses, looking very much like the man in black. You know, the tax man. Right, we must be off. Thank you so much for watching. Big thanks to Mark Burgess, Steve Mitchell, Pete Telling, Terry Banton, Paul Carl Griffin for sending in the videos. Don't forget, you can send in your videos for the Monday show. We'd love to see them. Big thanks to Sean James Cameron and, of course, the lovely Judith out there moderating in the Vobosphere. To you guys for coming in, and thanks for all the wonderful super chats to keep this show going and all of that, and the likes on YouTube and Facebook. Not on Facebook, because it's not on Facebook. And thank you to my parents, who, without whom there would have been nothing. And to the lovely Julia for coming in and wearing those bloody hot, sexy glasses that gets anyone's pulse pumping through the roof. I say.
One will get embarrassed.
Yes, that's
Start blushing.
Just start blushing. There we are.
I need a fan too.
Yeah, there's plenty of fans out there. So take care, look after yourselves, have a good one. Back again on Mondaddy. Until that time, pull the lever.
Goodbye.
Bye.